Good evening, I'm Abigail Saxe, and thanks for joining us. As we mentioned, tonight is the last night of the event, and it goes well into early morning hours. The winter brings colder weather and manatees to the Bay Area. A Pass the Torch rally was held outside the White House, calling on President Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race. A day after service issues stopped planes in their tracks and closed offices around the world, CrowdStrike is now warning about threat actors targeting those impacted. You can get one of these test strips at 67 bars downtown. Bars and restaurants that are a part of this program will have signs letting customers know that these are available. Police say 15 cars have been broken into here, in this lot, in the last 2 days. Since we're in the heart of the city, many are choosing to park a few blocks away and walk to their destination. Lots of Austinites like to cool off by jumping in the springs with this hot summer heat. The city, though, is saying that new bacteria in the water could be dangerous for some swimmers. Behind me will be the future temporary home for Super League Tampa Bay. The city's first professional women's soccer team will be kicking off their inaugural season here next fall. This highway is known for its risky drivers and has the most accidents in Austin. Being one of the longest U.S. interstates, it sees hundreds of fatal crashes every year. Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Abigail Saxe, and this is your peek into Paris. Team USA is back on the court today. The women's basketball team will face Nigeria in today's quarterfinal. Yesterday on the track, Team USA's Quincy Hall had an insane comeback and ended up winning gold. UT Longhorns are bringing home some more hardware after Gabby Thomas just won gold in the 200-meter dash.
One of the wildest presidential elections we've had probably in our lifetime.
UT senior Sid Reddy thinks tensions are high leading up to November, but still hopes his peers will show up to vote.
In terms of our generation, we're starting to come into this realization of how much voting is impacting us.
More than 40 million Gen Zers are eligible to vote in this upcoming election. But polls are showing a lot of apathy coming from youth voters.
Ultimately, there's a chicken and egg problem with younger voters, which is that younger voters often feel that politicians don't listen to them, so they therefore choose not to participate. Politicians listen to the people who turn out and vote.
UT Austin is a part of a national survey called NSLVE, which stands for the National Study of Learning, Voting, and Engagement. This survey uses voting records to let universities know if students are participating in elections. In 2020, nearly 76% of eligible UT students voted. Texas Votes program coordinator Sarah Batson says she's hoping students continue this pattern of growth.
2014, we saw really low numbers, and so kind of in the past decade, we've seen a really great rebound.
Batson said that the results of student participation usually reflect on national voting trends. While it's unpredictable to know the voter turnout this year, she is expecting a slight dip in participation.
They really care about what's happening in the country. They just need a reason to believe that voting is that best conduit.
We'll see the results this November. In Austin, Abigail Saxe, KXAN News. Second Lieutenant Gilbert Myers was finally identified this August after serving during World War II. Family, friends, and citizens gather around to pay their final respects this morning. The ceremony today is to honor and commemorate Myers' service to the country and to give closure to relatives and friends 80 years later. Great-nephew of Myers says his story is inspirational not only to his family, but for the public as well.
The U.S. government never stops looking for lost soldiers and Marines and sailors. They don't give up.
Myers entered the forces in Florida in the 381st Bombardment Squadron in 1940. He was the co-pilot of a B-25 Mitchell bomber on the day he went missing in action in Sicily. Patriot Guard member Wayne Wooten says it was an honor to stand by the family and pay his respects today.
I think absolutely gives closure because you always have that question in the back of your mind. What happened? Where is this person? I think it's a great blessing to be able to do this.
The lieutenant is remembered in Italy on the walls of the missing at the Sicily-Rome American Cemetery, and now forever in St. Pete. In St. Petersburg, Florida, Abigail Saxe reporting for Florida Focus.